Today, I'm making a caramelized onion and roasted garlic sourdough bread. I'm going to start by cutting the top off the head of this garlic. Then I'm going to wrap it in some tin foil, put some olive oil, salt and pepper, and roast it in the oven for around 45 minutes to an hour at 400 degrees. Now I'm going to take one onion, slice it up, and add it to the pan. Season it with some salt. I'm going to keep this on low heat for around an hour and a half until the sugars in the onions become super sweet and the onions caramelize really nicely to a deep dark golden color. Now I'm going to start by weighing out my flours. I'm using white flour, wheat flour, and rye flour to give it nice depth of flavor. Next, I'm going to add the water. I'm adding 345 grams of water, which is around a 72% hydration. We're going to mix this until it's shaggy. I usually use a higher hydration so it never comes out shaggy, but this is what most people tell you to do. And this is why most people, I think, fail. They use too low of a hydration because it's beginner friendly. They're like, oh, this is going to be easier to handle. Better off that it's really sticky, hard to handle, because you're going to get a better result. Now, I'm going to take my starter and I'm going to use 100 grams of my active starter. Next, I'm going to add around 11 grams of salt. Now it's time to add our mix-ins. These are the caramelized onions after they've been on the pan for about an hour and a half. They're super buttery, soft, and sweet. They're really delicious. I really like putting these on my burgers better than I like putting them in my bread. Now I'm going to add the roasted garlic. This roasted garlic came out incredible. It's got a lot of depth of flavor. It's caramelized properly. But again, I prefer using this in other dishes other than bread. Now we're going to repeat these stretch and folds for 3 more times over the course of about 2 hours. I let the dough sit for more than a half hour just because it wasn't super elastic and I could barely stretch it. Probably because it's low hydration. So I let in between each stretch and fold, I left around 45 minutes and it was just super hard to stretch. It just didn't want to move. I wanted to make this bread easy to make, so I made it at a super low hydration, 72% hydration, which I do not recommend. You will see at the end of the video. See, the dough just didn't want to stretch, so I started doing some slap and folds. I thought that might help. Then I let it rest for another 45 minutes, and then I did one final stretch and fold, but still it was just had no give to it. Now I'm going to flour my banneton and I'm going to start pre-shaping the dough. The dough was very easy to work with because it was low hydration, so this step was very straightforward, like anyone can do it, but the bread's not going to come out that great, I feel like. This is how I normally shape my dough. Usually take one side of it and fold it to the center. Then I take the other side and fold it to the center and meet the 2 ends. Then I roll it up like a burrito, and that's how I pre-shape. Now I'm going to cover it for about another 15 minutes before we do our final shaping. Now I'm going to lightly dust the top of the dough, and I find a bench scraper works really well during this step to flip over the dough. Now I'm going to do some crisscrossing with the final shaping, and then I'm going to roll it up like a burrito one final time, pinch in the sides, and then put it in the banneton and seal up the ends, as well as flour the top of the dough. Well, it's actually the bottom of the dough. So I didn't talk about how long I proofed this dough for. I proofed this dough for over 10 hours, and then I did a cold proof overnight. And so it definitely had plenty of time to rise. So that was definitely not the issue. I did let the dough get to about 50% bigger in size, and my kitchen was around 74 degrees all day and night long. Now I turned it out onto a piece of parchment paper, which is my preferred way of cooking it. On the other hand, this dough did score very nicely and I did get a nice ear, but to me that's just cosmetic. I would prefer a more open crumb with a higher hydration. I baked it at 500 degrees like I usually do the whole time and left the water in the whole time like I usually do, but I did not get the exact results that I was looking for. The bread does look good when it comes out of the oven. It feels like it's airy, it's crunchy, it's got good texture, but you'll see when I cut it why I'm not happy with it. The flavor of this bread came out good, but honestly, I just prefer plain sourdough bread. But that is my cooking style. I am a purist, so I'm not surprised. So now we're gonna cut the bread. This bread came out, the crumb was super tight, not open and airy like it normally does, and it came gummy. If you want the most success, I recommend using 82% hydration. I feel like you'll have the most success. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.